your new challenge, jumping out of a plane but being afraid of heights. Explain all.
Yeah, I also don't like flying as well. So,
Get ready your breakfast with Rich Smith.
Now, I'm really looking forward to catching up with my next guest, Paul Masters. Now, we spoke to Paul many years ago, I believe now, about an amazing charity event, and he is doing another amazing charity event for Helen and Douglas House. Paul, good morning to you.
good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
Our absolute pleasure. I'd like to rewind, if I may, because I believe we spoke many years ago now about a challenge that you undertook in which you were running a mile a day for a year. Am I correct?
You are indeed. Yes, it was way back in 2021 that I actually decided to take that on. So it is definitely a long time ago now.
Well, would you mind casting your mind back and kind of going, because that was an amazing and wonderful challenge that you undertook, and just explain all the reasons behind it.
So my wife Siobhan and I, back in August 2020, in the middle of lockdown, were expecting twin baby boys, James and Ryan. We'd had a textbook pregnancy, everything was going great. And on the day we were due to meet them, unfortunately, they couldn't find a heartbeat for our biggest twin, James. So my wife was rushed into emergency surgery. James had sadly passed away. And Ryan, although he was still with us, had multiple organ failure. So he was transferred from Stoke Mandeville in Aylesbury to the JR in Oxford, where he was looked after for 5 days. And then it became clear there was nothing more that could be done for him. So the decision was made to take him off the machines that were keeping him alive. We were told he would pass away within minutes, could be up to an hour. And he was still with us the next morning. And it got to the stage where they sort of said, we don't know what to do with you anymore. And that's where Helen and Douglas House Hospice came in, scooped us up, took us to the hospice, and we got to make an extra 4 days of memories with Ryan. And that's really where we wanted to sort of give back and give other people the same opportunities that we had to make those wonderful memories. So that's why I then decided on the 1st of January of the following year to run a mile a day for the whole year. Wasn't a runner, had never ran a mile before in my life. And by the time I'd actually set it up and raised some money, I then went out and did the first mile and realised it was a lot further than I realised a mile was going to be. So it was a really tough challenge. But by doing it for a whole year, it kind of meant I could share the boy's story for a year, share the story of baby loss for a year, and sort of talk about it and not have it hidden away. So that was really quite a big thing. And for me, it was also kind of a chance to get out and do something and not dwell and sort of look after my own mental health as well. So that's where it all started, really.
That's amazing. Thank you once again for sharing that beautiful and incredible story. And it does beg the question: Are you still a runner, Paul, after having a year of it?
I am. My friends then decided actually the following year they wanted to join me. So between 6 of us, we actually then ended up running 4,040 kilometres the following year. The boys were born in 2020. There was 2 of them. So that's where the idea for 40-40 came from.
Amazing.
And we ended up doing a half marathon off the back of that. And then a year later, I ended up doing the London Marathon as well.
I'm pleased to hear that. That's such a brilliant story. I love that. That's absolutely fantastic. Well, fast forward and now you mentioned the wonderful Helen Douglas House and the 4 days, magical days that I'm sure that you spent there, and I bet those 4 days live long in your memory as some of the happiest and most joyous times, because that's exactly what Helen Douglas House do. They bring that happiness, that joy. And even at times of a terrible adversity, as we've just heard about, you even talk about them with a smile on your face. It kind of could have seeped through the radio and what have you, and everyone that we've spoken to who's gone through Helen Douglas House, they all sort of say that same thing. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that it must feel like a very similar thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and they're the memories that we look back on now 5 years later. You know, as parents, you want to be able to push your child in a pram, read them stories, do all the things. And Helen and Douglas House give you the chance to make those memories, so that when you now look back, it's not just sad. There's something to hold on to, something positive from something bad. And that's really what I'm trying to do as well with the fundraising and everything else, is just sort of build on that memory and go from there, really.
Yeah, amazing. And that brings us up to the present day. Your new challenge, jumping out of a plane but being afraid of heights. Explain all.
Yeah, I also don't like flying as well. So,
right.
I mean, all the way through, people when you fundraise, everyone goes, do a skydive, and it's always been my red line. I've said absolutely not, no way, never going to do it. And here we are 5 years later. I wanted to do, when you're fundraising for so long, I feel like you have to take on a challenge to keep asking people to donate and keep giving. And so it has to be something that pushes you. Having already done a marathon, I really wanted to do an ultra marathon this year, but being 5 years older, my body kind of said, no, you can't do that. So my brother-in-law sent me the link for the skydive, and I didn't even look at it. Just said, absolutely not doing one. And then one morning, driving into work, looking up, it was a bright sunny day, and I sort of thought, do you know what? Maybe I could just do this. So I came home and I told my wife, and she went, absolutely not. There's no way you'll do it. I looked at all the details, and it fell on the anniversary weekend of 5 years since having the boys, and it just kind of felt I needed to do something this year, and it just kind of felt like fate to do it. I'm still not convinced it's the best idea in the world, but
I think you painted exactly the right picture here with this, because and I can even tell from your voice that this is a huge challenge for you, that this is a very big deal, and you listen to the things that you're kind of a bit fearful of, and they're all in this, but the amazing upshot of this is, and like you said, doing something out of your comfort zone, doing something uncomfortable and pushing yourself is that sort of driving force to go, hey, I really don't like this, but actually, if it raises money for the incredible Helen Douglas House Hospice, then do you know what? That's all right. I'm okay with it. And have you had that kind of that sense and that feeling already with kind of doing this? Because that fear is always going to be there, isn't it? It's always going to have that little compartment of going, oh, I'm not really keen on those things. But is it sort of being pulled sort of away from that with the kind of fundraising that's happening?
I mean, it is. You can never kind of fully take away the fear. But I guess there's two ways that I look at it. The first is it's a tandem skydive. So as long as I can get on the plane on the ground, they're going to jump out. I don't really have that moment where I can sort of not do it. And the second one is, I mean, we look at Ryan when he was in Helen and Douglas House, and he spent 4 days there kind of resilient and fighting and carrying on. And when you look at the other children that we're obviously doing this for now, and you kind of see their resilience and how they cope kind of day to day, it kind of puts it into perspective. I've got, I don't know how long it is altogether, 15-20 minutes of the whole thing. It kind of puts into perspective, you've got to just get through it. They have to live with that every day. So for me, it is literally just 15 minutes of high stress just to get through it. And obviously that's why you do it. It's to make a difference and to kind of support the people and give them the same memories and the same moments that we got with our son. And you can't put a price on that. So that's really why I'm doing it and why I'm taking it on.
No, amazing, and more power to you. And it will be amazing. It will be incredible. And I that feeling, if you could bottle that feeling of when you're kind of landed and kind of down and back and everything like that, that will be worth it tenfold, and all the amazing money raised as well. Where can people find out a little bit more? Just Giving pages, etc. Where have you got all your info for all of that?
So my fundraising is through Just Giving. If you search Paul Masters, there are actually two Paul Masterses at the minute. There's one doing a trek around London, so I'm not that one. I'm the other one. Or we've got a Facebook page called Running for the Boys, which I set up when I first started doing the first challenge, which has got our whole story, everything all the way through, Once I've done it, I'll pop pictures and maybe a video up of doing it as well. So yeah, Running for the Boys on Facebook is the best place to go. It's got our fundraising link and everything on there. Hoping to raise £1,000 altogether. Because the other thing I said to my wife, I said I don't want to jump out of a plane for 50 quid. It was no, it had to be worthwhile doing it, you know. So
yeah, that sounds perfect in that respect. Well, look, Paul, it's amazing chatting to you again and following your journey with all of this. Best of luck with everything. It's going to be amazing, and I'm sure you've touched a lot of people with your story this morning. And I can sort of see from the messages that I've been popping in just from the corner of my eye that people are sort of thanking you for sharing that story once again. And best of luck with it all. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you so much.
Paul Masters there, who, yeah, you can hear the scariness, but that's what it's all about pushing yourself and raising money, of course, for the wonderful Helen Douglas House Hospice. Brilliant stuff.